This is Chris Pollock of the Pollock family, and we're going to give you a review of our 15-passenger 2016 Ford Transit Wagon. Let me start by talking a little bit about why we need this vehicle. All right, for starters, we have 7 children, all boys, and so with my wife and I, that makes 9 of us, and that's kind of hard to move around in just about any other kind of vehicle. The vehicle that we had before this was a 8-passenger Suburban that we made 10-passenger by putting 2 seats in the back from Little Passenger. Little Passenger is a car seat company. They were great, provided us with a lot of extra use out of that vehicle. But what we didn't really calculate terribly well was the fact that those 7 kids were going to continue to grow. And eventually what we figured out is that we couldn't pack in all the kids and the stuff into the Suburban. So we knew we had to upgrade to a larger vehicle, and that's why we finally decided to look. We're doing this video because I didn't feel like we were getting a lot of assistance. I mean, this is a commercial vehicle. People on the lots don't seem to know a lot about the vehicle, so I just felt like I wanted to help people in a way that I didn't feel like I was being helped. I mean, we eventually found a dealership that was able to help us, but I've been to, 4 different dealerships in the Rochester area, and I really didn't feel like I was getting a whole lot of assistance from a lot of them because they just didn't know a lot about the vehicle, and they certainly weren't used to dealing with it on a passenger level. There was a lot of commercial people, they knew about it commercially, but most of the questions that I was asking were ones that they didn't really know. So I'm going to cover those questions in this review and help you to know what I didn't know. One of the things that we've heard from a lot of friends of ours is that big families and big sliding doors on the sides of cargo vans don't end up working out very well because eventually those sliders break or you can't get the door shut all the way and you get all sorts of problems. We've had multiple families talk about this, and so one of the great things about this van is it comes with these dual open barn doors. The thing that's obviously not great about these is that if you're parking in a parking lot and there's a car next door, you really gotta have the kids watch out. So you gotta be careful. I'm asking, I'm gonna get some feedback from my kids here, and Caleb just noticed something he wanted me to notice. So go ahead, Caleb.
If you pull this back too far and then open this, you'll get caught.
Yeah, that's a good call. So if you get that one door open, then you try to open that other door, bad things can happen. Yeah, so you got to watch that. Anybody else want to comment about anything on the vehicle? Oliver?
Yep.
No? Oh, you got to close the other one first. Yeah. A little training there. So we can talk a little bit about these seats. These seats are probably a huge upgrade over the standard 12-passenger vans. A number of my friends have these very large vans, and none of the seats are like this at all. All these seats have headrests. The seat belt is in the seat, so it's not hanging down, dangling off the ceiling, getting in the way. You've got this row in the middle that people can get through, so you've got kind of some independent seats. I just took this out last night with about 10 different guys, adults, and we all got in here, and I didn't hear any complaints about people having to squish in. I think that it's a lot more comfortable for the kids than the Suburban was. I mean, for the adults, it's definitely acceptable. You've got some of these armrests. You've got the standard infant seat anchors and different things like that. But the seats are really nice. Oh, and come here, Isaac. So, what do you want to say?
All the seats, except for the ones in the very, very back, have independent reclining. So that's a very nice feature too.
Yeah, he said it goes back about the length of an airplane seat. So it's not much, but hey, if you're a kid, it's pretty cool. All right, so here we are at the back of the van. So this was a big sort of selling feature for us. Like when we went to the one down in Florida, one of the things about it is it had it was a 12-passenger, so it didn't have any seats in the back. And we really loved all the storage. We could throw our suitcases, we could throw everything right in the back, and it was no problem. So we wanted the 15-passenger van because we really wanted to be able to transport extra people when needed. And so it has kind of an interesting configuration when it comes to this back seat. So The old style cargo van was like basically one big bench seat across the back. And so what they've done now is they've kind of broken it off into one section that is easily removed here in the middle, and then you've got these two seats that are more semi-permanently attached to the side. I have looked into it. The only thing you need to remove these seats is a T55 star wrench, and so with a T55 star wrench you can take out these side seats as well. But and that was my plan, actually. My plan was that we were going to just take out this entire back seat to have this area for storage. But once I got that middle seat out, I basically thought, well, I can just stack stuff on the side of these seats. You know, they're not really in the way. And so we're actually going to try it. So we're kind of at a 13 passenger right now with this configuration. And you can see it gives us a place to kind of like stuff some stuff in over off to the side. Another thing while we're out the back here, these back doors are pretty cool. They have these locking mechanisms. So this isn't just gonna, you know, it's not just free floating here. It is kind of stuck where it is. But it's, if you press this button right here, it will release from here, and it can open all the way. And it's got like a, you can kind of see it if you come through here. There's basically a magnet that'll hold that door in place. So it's nice so that you don't have this door swinging back and forth, and you don't have to worry about it hitting the side of the van at all. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that, oh, the kids like hopping out through the back. That's another feature too. You know, if you got some kids sitting in the back here, because there's such an open alleyway with this middle seat out, I'm able to open the back of the seat and let the kids out through the back. This is Oliver. All right, another thing that we really liked about the van was just the windows. There's a lot of visibility all the way around, especially for the kids in the back. You know, our family, it's just a lot of car sickness kinds of stuff. I don't know if you have that in your family, but I think having the big windows all the way around is really going to help the kids to be able to see out, see where they're going, makes their trip more enjoyable. And I'll talk more about that when I get in the driver's seat. Okay, I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I mean, one of the things right off the bat is that, again, I've driven other large cargo vans. The driving experience is much more like, I would say, a standard minivan. I mean, it's you know, it's not a minivan, but it's less like a cargo van than the other ones that I've driven. You can get a bunch of room in here. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm very comfortable in the front seat. The steering wheel's a little small, which, you know, is kind of strange, but it is a little small. But one thing that I love about sitting here is that the height over the road, and then all this glass. I mean, you really, you know, you can see all around. You have great visibility, very large windshield, very large side windows. You can see that this has this portion of the window rolls down. This is like solid. So I really like that. We definitely wanted to make sure that we had the backup camera in our package, and so we've got the backup camera when you put it in reverse. So what you can see is that, you know, when I put it in reverse, you know, it's got the backup sensors, it's got the guides. You know, if I turn the wheel, it'll turn those guides. It's a little small. That would be my complaint, is that given the distance that it is from me and how small it is, I'm kind of like, you know, you gotta like really kind of lean into it, look at it. I definitely prefer a larger version. So I know they make one more upgrade for this that has a larger screen. That would have probably been really nice to have. So that's pretty good. I also, you know, it's got this sync system has the Bluetooth phone integrated into it, which is absolutely a must. I don't think that it has Bluetooth audio connection, so I can't, if I want to play my iPhone, I got to plug in through an audio cable or a USB, which, you know, I would have liked to have seen that feature added. They've got some different compartments up here, which are kind of handy in the door. there's really no console in this thing, so the door pockets, are going to have to be sufficient. They've got, a bunch of cup holders up in front here, 4 different cup holders up front, just big side type things. But I think, again, really pretty comfortable for the most part. So we'll just talk a little bit about the driving experience. So take it for a ride in a little bit, show you what that's like. The one thing I do like is that we can hear probably people in the third row. It doesn't seem like it's a very loud driving experience. It actually feels quieter than my Suburban, which is kind of surprising because the engine was all up front. So they've done a real good job with sound dampening. The only difficulty that we've been having with sound is that there seems to be like this, sort of low level air buffering kind of a noise that you hear at certain certain speeds, and I'm gonna actually try to see if we can capture that on camera, but we'll see. All right, so we're loaded up here with a couple of kids. Where'd Micah go?
He's
hiding. Okay. Hey, get in your seat, Micah. We're gonna go for a ride, and I got Caleb here in the front seat with me, and so he's gonna do some filming, and we'll talk about how this thing drives. All right, here you go. So again, I got it started up, and we got Micah all the way in the back. Micah, talk to me.
Hi, Daddy.
I can hear him pretty good. We'll see what happens when we start driving. So, all right, so we're going to put it in drive, and we'll go for a little ride here. Obviously, it's 15 passenger, so it's big. You don't exactly have a turning radius to speak of. So you got to be real careful pulling out of places that you don't cut something short. When I originally rented one of these of the parking garage of the rental company, and it was like a hairpin turn, and I literally had just went through the gate to leave the rental agency, and I put a huge scratch in the side going around the hairpin turn. So thankfully they didn't end up charging me anything for that, but if you rent one of these in Florida and has a big scratch in the side, silver, yeah, that was us. Sorry about that. So we're driving at this kind of slower speed, and I don't know if we're going to be able to capture this on video, but you can kind of hear that air buffering noise at these slower speeds. It actually kind of it's not there all the time. I'm not sure exactly what's causing it. We tried, this thing is sealed up pretty good. You're not getting a lot of noise driving it, so I don't know where it's coming from. We actually drove 2 different 15 passengers, and they both did it. So I think it's something in the design of the vehicle that makes that little low rumbly noise. We compare it to, it's kind of like when you're driving when you're driving your car and you put one of the windows down, but you don't put another window down, you get that real fluttery kind of a noise. It's like that, only it's not as strong. And so it's probably something with the aerodynamics of the vehicle. Hopefully maybe somebody from Ford's going to watch this and get a little bit take some interest in fixing that. So we're going to take it around. Turning the drivability of this vehicle is actually pretty great, which I haven't, I've enjoyed driving it. The acceleration's fine. It's not a sports car or anything else like that. You got these nice big window deflectors, or sun guards, or sun visors, whatever they're called. And we're just going to take it on the highway here and get up to speed. One thing I will say, when you're accelerating onto the highway, you definitely can't just lay on the accelerator pedal. I mean, it's not that punchy. It feels good if you ease into it, and you can get up to speed fairly quickly. But if you just lay on the thing, the transmission's not going to tolerate that. So here we go. Let's see how we can get up to speed here. Yep, there's that. So that's what happens if you step on the accelerator too hard. Is you get that the engine kind of kicks into overdrive, and you don't really go anywhere. But you know, we're traveling 60 miles an hour already. I didn't really need to step on the accelerator pedal that hard, and you know, you can get this thing going 70 miles an hour without really any difficulty at all. And you can see here we're traveling on the highway, no real noise. It's not really that much noisier than when we were idling and when we were driving down the road. So I think that's a big feature. You know, if you're a family, you like to communicate, you want to talk, and so this is you know, this van supports that. Anything you want to say, Simon?
Those really cool lights.
What?
I think the lights are cool.
The lights are cool?
Yep.
Like up front?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the looks of this van, you know, honestly, are pretty decent. It looks a lot nicer than some of the other vans that are out there. Somebody just made a comment today that it looks like a space shuttle, which it kind of does, especially in white. That was probably the only thing that I didn't want about this vehicle. The guys at Genesee Valley Ford were great. That's where we ended up buying it in Avon, New York. Totally recommend them. The only thing that I didn't want about this vehicle is I didn't want it in white. I wanted a different color, but they pretty much, when you find them, they're pretty much in white. So hopefully, you know, if you're looking around, they might have one in the color you want. But they're few and far between right now. It's really hard to find these things. 3 of the dealers that I went to in town basically couldn't even find this thing in the inventory anywhere. So Genesee Valley Ford was great, though. They had 2 of them, and you know, took them for a test drive, liked it, really liked the dealership, liked their attitude, their approach, and so thumbs up to Genesee Valley.